about the other
So
prince?
you got to go to again.
How about the other prince, the one that's Epstein's friend?
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, how odd is that
Yeah.
guy when they're interviewing him and talking to him?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
The Queen kicked him to the curb.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
January 2026. Meghan Markle thought she'd buried her past, thought nobody would ever connect the dots, thought the yacht girl rumors would fade away like every other scandal she survived. But then Joe Rogan, the biggest podcaster on the planet, decided to blow the whole thing wide open. And I mean wide open. Because according to accounts circulating online, Joe's been digging into something that could destroy Meghan's entire carefully constructed image. Something about yachts. Something about Prince Andrew. Something about a world Meghan desperately wants everyone to forget existed. And here's what makes this absolutely explosive in these conspiracy theory circles. Joe Rogan doesn't back down from anybody. Not royals, not Hollywood, not billion-dollar corporations. When he smells something fishy, he talks about it to his 200 million listeners. So when discussions emerged about connections between Meghan, yacht parties, Prince Andrew, and the Epstein crowd, according to these narratives, Meghan absolutely lost it. Her lawyers allegedly went into overdrive. Her PR team scrambled. Because Joe just exposed the one thing Meghan spent years hiding according to these theories. Her secret yacht girl past and how it connects to the most disgraced royal in modern history. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear represents one of the most controversial conspiracy theories about Meghan Markle that's ever reached mainstream discussion. Let me break down why Joe Rogan talking about this matters so much in these discussions. This man has the biggest podcast in the world, 200 million listeners every single episode. When Joe speaks, the entire planet pays attention. And here's what makes Joe dangerous to people like Meghan, according to those pushing these theories. He doesn't care about being polite. Doesn't care about royal protocols. Doesn't care if you're a duchess or a ditch digger. If something seems off, he's going to talk about it. Joe's already gone after Meghan before. Back in 2020, he called her a little American hussy while imitating the Queen. Said she was turning Harry into a Kardashian. Predicted they'd just endorse makeup lines and sneakers. He was right about the commercial deals. Then in 2023, Joe brought up how Meghan complained about being objectified on Deal or No Deal. His response, "Did you think it was an executive position, ma'am?" Brutal, honest. That's Joe. So when Joe started allegedly digging into Meghan's yacht girl, past according to these online narratives, when he started connecting her to Prince Andrew through those elite circles. Conspiracy theorists claim Meghan knew she had a problem. Because Joe's not mainstream media, he can't be controlled, can't be threatened, can't be bought. When someone with Joe Rogan's platform starts asking questions about Meghan's past, about her connections to Andrew, about those yacht parties nobody wants to discuss, that's a 5-alarm fire for Meghan's image, according to those tracking these theories. Now let's talk about what Joe's allegedly been exposing according to these conspiracy narratives. Because this isn't new information in conspiracy circles. It's just that nobody with Joe's massive reach has been willing to discuss it publicly until now. Author Kirby Summers has been researching Meghan's connections for years. She wrote an entire unauthorized biography of Ghislaine Maxwell, and in that research, she claims to have found something fascinating. Evidence suggesting Meghan knew Prince Andrew way before she met Harry. Summers claims there may be photos of Meghan on a yacht in Phuket, Thailand with Prince Andrew. Photos from as far back as 2001. Photos that the mainstream media supposedly has, but refuses to publish according to her allegations. And here's the connector in this theory. Marcus Anderson, the Soho House guy who introduced Meghan to Harry. Summers suggests Anderson was connecting Meghan to these elite circles, including Andrew, Epstein, and Maxwell, going back over 20 years. There's also documented evidence that Meghan was invited to Yacht Week 2016 in Croatia. This wasn't some innocent sailing trip, according to reports. GQ called it Sodom and Gomorrah at sea in 2015. Participants described it as Tinder at sea, a hedonistic party scene where wealthy men and beautiful women mixed under very specific arrangements. Did Meghan attend? Nobody knows for sure. But the invitation exists according to these accounts. The connection exists, and that's what conspiracy theorists claim Joe Rogan's been hammering on his podcast. Here's what makes Joe's alleged coverage so devastating for Meghan in these narratives. When tabloids report yacht girl rumors, people dismiss it as gossip. When royal authors write about it, people call it speculation. But when Joe Rogan discusses it, on the biggest podcast platform in human history, with 200 million listeners, that's different according to these theories. Joe brings credibility through his refusal to be controlled. He's already survived Spotify controversies, already weathered attacks from mainstream media, already proven he can't be canceled no matter who comes after him. So when Joe allegedly says, "Hey, what's this about Meghan being on yachts with Prince Andrew? What's this about Marcus Anderson connecting her to Epstein's circles? Why won't anyone in mainstream media investigate this?" According to these accounts, people listen, really listen. And Meghan knows, according to conspiracy theorists, that once Joe's audience starts asking these questions, once they start digging, once they start demanding answers, the carefully controlled narrative she's built starts crumbling. That's why reports in these circles suggest Meghan's team went into panic mode when Joe started covering this. Because you can threaten British tabloids with lawsuits. You can control royal correspondence through access, but you can't control Joe Rogan, and that terrifies Meghan according to these narratives. Let me walk you through why the Marcus Anderson angle is so important in these theories. Because this is what conspiracy theorists claim Joe's been focusing on, and it's allegedly the key to understanding Meghan's yacht world connections. Marcus Anderson is the global membership director for Soho House. He's the guy who introduced Meghan to Harry. That's documented fact. Everyone agrees on that part. But here's what Joe's allegedly been asking according to these accounts. How did Anderson know to introduce them? Why did he think Meghan was right for a prince? What was their relationship before Harry entered the picture? Kirby Summers suggests in her research that Anderson was connecting Meghan to wealthy, powerful men through Soho House networks, going back to 2001. That's 25 years of connections according to her claims, 25 years of access to elite circles. Soho House isn't just a club. It's a networking machine for ambitious people who want access to wealth and power. The entire business model is creating private spaces where deals happen, where connections form away from public eyes. Anderson's job is facilitating those connections, deciding who gets access, making strategic introductions. And according to research conspiracy theorists claim Joe's been discussing, one of those connections was between Meghan and Prince Andrew, facilitated through Maxwell and Epstein's networks. Think about what that means in this narrative. If Anderson was connecting Meghan to Andrew years before she met Harry, then her meeting Harry wasn't random. It was strategic. It was the ultimate networking success. And conspiracy theorists claim Joe's been hammering that point to his massive audience. Here's where this gets really interesting in these theories. Kirby Summers claims mainstream media may possess photos of Meghan on a yacht in Phuket, Thailand with Prince Andrew. Photos from 2001. Why would media have these photos but not publish them? Joe's allegedly been asking that exact question according to these accounts, and the answer is terrifying for everyone involved in this narrative. If those photos exist and show Meghan with Andrew on a yacht during the Epstein era, that's not just embarrassing according to these theories. That potentially connects her to one of the biggest scandals in royal history. That makes her relationship with Harry look like something much more calculated. Now, fact-checkers claim photos circulating online show model Alexandra Esket, not Meghan. And that's true for some photos, but Summers isn't talking about those photos. She's talking about photos mainstream media allegedly has but won't release. Why the media silence according to this narrative? Legal threats. palace pressure, fear of defamation suits. All the usual reasons powerful people keep secrets buried. But Joe Rogan doesn't care about any of that according to conspiracy theorists. He's asking publicly why these photos, if they exist, aren't being investigated. Why nobody's demanding answers. Why Meghan gets a pass when anyone else would face scrutiny. You see what's happening in these theories? Joe's using his platform to ask the questions traditional media won't touch. And that's allegedly making Meghan absolutely furious. Here's Meghan's impossible situation according to these narratives. She can sue tabloids. She can threaten royal correspondence. She can use palace lawyers against British media. But she can't do anything to Joe Rogan. Joe operates in America. He has Spotify money. He has the biggest audience in podcasting. Any attempt to silence him would backfire spectacularly according to these theories, would prove his point about powerful people hiding truth. Meghan's playbook has always been control the narrative through lawsuits and PR. But that playbook doesn't work against someone like Joe, according to conspiracy theorists. You can't out-lawsuit someone with unlimited legal resources. You can't out-PR someone with 200 million loyal listeners. So what's Meghan's move in this scenario? Stay silent and hope it blows over. But staying silent, while Joe allegedly hammers the yacht girl narrative to his massive audience, means millions of people hear only one side. The side that makes Meghan look like she's hiding something. Reports in these circles suggest Meghan's team is furious but helpless. They can't respond without giving the story more oxygen. They can't ignore it because Joe's reach is too massive. They're stuck, and Joe knows it according to these narratives. That's why conspiracy theorists claim he keeps bringing it up, keeps asking questions, keeps poking holes in Meghan's carefully constructed image. Because he can, and she can't stop him. Think about Harry's position in all this according to these theories. He's already been mocked by Joe Rogan, already had his relationship questioned, already had Joe suggest Meghan infiltrated him as an ambitious actress. But if Joe's yacht allegations gain mainstream traction, if the Andrew connection becomes widely accepted as true in public consciousness, Harry looks like the biggest fool in modern royal history, according to this narrative. Imagine finding out your wife knew your disgraced uncle through Epstein circles before she met you. Imagine learning she was working elite yacht parties while you thought she was just a struggling actress. Imagine discovering your fairy tale romance was actually strategic networking at the highest level. That's the reality conspiracy theorists claim Joe Rogan's painting for his 200 million listeners. And Harry can't defend against it without proof in this scenario. Can't provide evidence Meghan didn't know Andrew before him. Can't explain away the Marcus Anderson connections. Sources in these circles suggest Harry's already struggling with the yacht rumors, already questioning what's true about Meghan's past, already wondering if William and Charles were right to be suspicious. If Joe keeps pushing this narrative according to these theories, keeps asking these questions, keeps exposing these connections, Harry's entire relationship gets reframed. Not as love story. As calculation. As ambition. As a woman who worked yacht parties landing the ultimate prize. Let me explain why Joe's alleged focus on Soho House matters in these conspiracy narratives. Because this is the part mainstream media completely ignores according to theorists. Soho House has been connected to some questionable people. The club operates in total secrecy. Private spaces. No photos, no recording. Everything happens behind closed doors. That's by design. That's the entire selling point. So when Joe allegedly asks what happened in those private Soho House spaces, when he questions what kind of networking Meghan was doing there, when he suggests Anderson was facilitating connections between ambitious women and powerful men, Soho House can't respond without admitting their business model, according to these theories. They can't say, no, we don't facilitate those connections, because facilitating connections is literally what they do. They can't investigate Anderson because he's been successfully connecting members for decades. Joe's questions allegedly put Soho House in an impossible position. defend Meghan and Anderson, or stay silent and let speculation grow. Either way, their secretive networking model gets exposed according to conspiracy theorists. And that's exactly what they claim Joe wants. He wants people asking what really happened in those exclusive clubs, who was meeting whom, what arrangements were being made. Because once people start asking those questions, Meghan's entire origin story falls apart in this narrative. Here's the brutal truth for Meghan, according to these conspiracy theories. The Yacht Girl allegations have been circulating for years, but they stayed in conspiracy theory territory, dismissed by mainstream media as baseless gossip. Then Joe Rogan allegedly entered the picture. And suddenly, those conspiracy theories are reaching 200 million people per episode, according to theorists. Suddenly, they're being discussed by the most influential podcaster alive. Suddenly, they can't be dismissed anymore in these circles. Joe's not letting this go according to these accounts. He's mentioned Meghan multiple times over the years, always questioning her motives, always suggesting she's not what she appears. The Yacht allegations fit perfectly into his existing narrative about her. And here's what makes it impossible for Meghan to kill this story, according to conspiracy theorists. The more she stays silent, the guiltier she looks in public perception. But if she responds, she gives it oxygen. And Joe can keep hammering with follow-up questions she can't answer. She's trapped according to this narrative, and Joe knows it. That's why theorists claim he keeps bringing it up, keeps asking questions, keeps suggesting there's truth to the Yacht Girl allegations that nobody in power wants investigated. Let me lay out the specific questions conspiracy theorists claim Joe's been raising that Meghan can't answer. Because this is allegedly what's driving her team crazy. Why was Meghan invited to Yacht Week 2016 if she wasn't part of those circles? Why did Marcus Anderson have so much access to her life? How did a cable TV actress afford the lifestyle she was living? Why was she at exclusive events with billionaires? What was her relationship with wealthy investors? Did she know Prince Andrew before Harry? Why won't she address any of this directly? These aren't accusations according to the narrative, they're questions. But they're questions Meghan can't answer without revealing things about her past she desperately wants hidden according to theorists. And that's Joe's alleged genius in this scenario. He's not saying Meghan was definitely a yacht girl. He's saying, here are all these connections and circumstances that need explanation. He's letting his audience draw their own conclusions. That's more powerful than accusations according to conspiracy theorists, because people convincing themselves are far more certain than people told what to think. And Joe's 200 million listeners are allegedly convincing themselves that Meghan's hiding a yacht girl past. So where does this go according to these conspiracy narratives? Joe Rogan's not stopping. He's got the audience, he's got the platform, he's got the immunity from consequences that comes with being the biggest podcaster alive. Linda Team can't silence him according to theorists. Can't threaten him, can't control the narrative when he's reaching 200 million people. They're helpless in this scenario. The Yacht Girl allegations are now mainstream discussion thanks to Joe according to these circles. The Andrew connection is being questioned openly. The Marcus Anderson networking angle is getting scrutinized. And Meghan's watching her carefully constructed image crumble according to conspiracy theorists. Because once Joe Rogan allegedly starts asking questions about your past to his massive audience, once he connects dots mainstream media won't touch. Once he exposes connections you've spent years hiding, there's no way to put that genie back in the bottle in this narrative. The question isn't whether Meghan was a yacht girl who knew Andrew through elite circles according to these theories. The question is whether she can survive Joe Rogan telling 200 million people she was. And based on how conspiracy theorists claim her team's reacting, based on the alleged panic and silence and inability to respond, they'd say Meghan knows the answer. She knows Joe just exposed the one truth that destroys everything she's built according to this narrative. The yacht girl who landed a prince. That's allegedly Meghan's real story in these conspiracy circles, and Joe Rogan just told the world.